Hello and welcome everyone to our Scouts BSA meeting for the Tri-Town area. My name is Ross Greiner. I'm the current Scoutmaster for Troop 262, a Boy Scout troop that has been in Firestone for a number of years, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to our new Scouts BSA troop for girls. So this meeting is all about getting you the information you need to make a decision about whether you and your daughter would like to join this new troop. So we're going to go ahead and get started. For those of you that are not able to join us for the meeting on November 18th, great news. We did receive enough interest and enough girls have signed up that we will be starting our Scouts BSA troop for girls on February 1st, 2019. So let's go ahead and dig into the details. You can learn a little bit more about this great opportunity for adventure, advancement, and achievement for your daughter. So as mentioned, we'll be looking at starting this new troop up on February 1st, 2019. Why that date? That is the official date that the Boy Scouts of America organization will be allowing these new troops to get started. So let's take just a moment and dispel some of the confusion around Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, name changes, etc. So first, point of confusion, Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts have nothing to do with each other from an organizational perspective. They're run by different organizations. They don't share any common leadership or management. So what happened? About a year and a half ago, the Boy Scouts of America, which is the organization, made a change to become more inclusive, allowing girls to join Cub Scout troops and planning for girls to be able to join Boy Scout troops down the road. So for about the last year, there have been more than 65,000 girls that have joined Cub Scout packs all across our country. Right here in Firestone, our local pack 341 has, I believe it's about 20% of their pack is now made up of girls. I've had the pleasure of working with them on several campouts and different events, and they are doing fantastic and they're a lot of fun to work with. So what is changing? The only thing that's really changing for now is the name of the program. The name of the program is going to be now called Scouts BSA, which will now operate under Boy Scouts of America as the organization name. So that's all you need to know for now. The name has changed, but nothing else about the program has. So who am I? My name is Ross Greiner. As I mentioned, I'm the Scoutmaster for Troop 262 in Firestone. A little bit of my background. I have been a middle and high school teacher with about 8 years in the classroom, working with grades 6 through 12, which just so happens to be the same age range that we'll be working with in Scouts. I am a lifelong Scouter all the way back to my Bobcat and Tiger Scout way back when. I did complete my Eagle Scout when I was just about 18 years old. As an adult, I've been a den leader for Pack 341 for Tigers, Wolves, and Bears, oh my, as well as the Scoutmaster over Troop 262 for the last few years, where it's been my pleasure to help those young men learn and grow. We were just able to actually cross 3 of our Scouts over into the rank of Eagle, which is fantastic this summer. At the presentation we had on November 18th, we did have a few Scout executives from the Longspeak Council with us, and you'll get a chance to meet them as you become more involved in Scouting. So we're going to take just a moment now to watch a video made by the Scouts BSA to introduce you to the program. Enjoy!
There's no one way to explore the world. My way is to push myself and never take the easy road.
I prefer a road that winds through forests and goes up mountains, because I've always been an adventurer at heart. That's why I can't wait to be a scout.
Because scouting will guide me to great things. It won't just teach me to navigate the woods with confidence, but it'll give me the confidence to navigate the world.
I'll enter the Scouts as the best version of myself today, and will grow into the best version of myself for my future.
Scouting will show me how to use bravery, trustworthiness, loyalty, and kindness to become a person I'm proud to be.
Because there's no one way to explore the world, and my way is in the Scouts. So
scout me in.
There you have it, a look at some of the adventures that lie ahead. Hopefully you notice in there's a huge range of activities and opportunities for our Scouts BSA troops, be they boy or girl troops, ranging from traditional camping, outdoor adventures, to STEM, robotics, rocketry, and everything in between. So what is the purpose of this new troop that we're going to be starting? It's first and foremost to offer great opportunities for adventure, achievement, advancement in the scouting program, which we'll talk about shortly. This is actually going to be targeted for girls 11 through 16 in the Tri-Town area. Now, should you happen to be right outside in Meade, Longmont, what have you, if you want to join us, you are more than welcome. Now, the reason for the 16 cutoff that you see on the slide there was traditionally Eagle Scouts have had to complete all of their work prior to their 18th birthday. I did find out just a few days ago during our presentation of this on Sunday that there is a special exemption that is going to be made for Scouts that join within this 2019 time frame. They will be given some additional time to complete their Eagle Scout. So if you do have an older daughter who's interested, please encourage you to check us out. We will be focusing on two primary areas as a troop, outdoor adventures and STEAM-focused activities. What's STEAM? You may have heard of STEM. Well, it's important to include art in everything that we're doing as well. So we're going to be doing a lot of technology, science, outdoor adventures, and everything in between that we can have a lot of fun with. Ultimately, it is our job to support the growth and skill development for each of our young ladies that we have in the troop. It is fantastic to watch the leadership skills, the creativity that I've already seen happen in some of our unofficial events with these scouts as they're starting to really engage in the program and have a lot of fun along the way. And as a nice added side benefit, you'll be able to see your daughter forge some lifelong friendships and memories. And now I'd like to take just another few moments with another video that's been provided by the Scouting organization. This is just kind of about the change that has occurred in Scouting. This happens to have come from a council out in Kansas. You may hear a few references to their district. Don't worry, this applies to all of our programs.
By now, you've probably heard the awesome news that the Boy Scouts of America will be accepting boys and girls into all Scouting programs for the first time in more than 80 years. It's a big deal, and you're probably wondering what that means for your family and for Scouting in Kansas City. No worries, we're going to break down what's new and upcoming, what's staying the same, and how you can Scout me in. Our first big change is that right now, families in the Heart of America Council and across the country can now choose to sign up both their sons and daughters for Cub Scouting. Then starting in February of 2019, both boys and girls ages 11 to 17 will be welcome to join Scouts BSA, previously known as the Boy Scout program. With years of research, the Boy Scouts of America have found that many girls are actually already attending Scouting events with their siblings. Now girls will be able to go through the ranks and earn badges like their brothers and fathers have done for years. Scouting can now become an experience the whole family can take part in together. That means girls will now have the opportunity to earn the same merit badges, ranks, and eventually become an Eagle Scout. And yes, there's a new program name too. Starting in 2019, building on the legacy of the Scout name, the program previously known as Boy Scouts will be called Scouts BSA. The organization name Boy Scouts of America will not change. And if you were hoping for new uniform pieces, you're luck. Actually, the uniforms will be fundamentally the same, but with different fit and styling for girls, and those should be rolling out soon. These are some pretty big but manageable changes. So what's staying the same? Yes, there's a program name change, but the organization name Boy Scouts of America and the Scouting curriculum is staying exactly the same. All the same camping, hiking, character building, fishing, and community service. The girls will be doing it all. And because boys and girls develop at different paces, all dens and troops will still be single gender. Cub Scouting and Scouts BSA programs will not be co-ed. Instead, the BSA has introduced a unique model that builds on the benefits of a single gender program while also providing character and leadership opportunities for both boys and girls. So this means existing dens and troops will function as normal. Girls cannot join an already existing male troop or Cub Scout den. A female troop or den can be formed with 5 girls, though it's a lot more fun with more of your friends. If not enough girls from one grade participate, up to 3 grades can be grouped together for a multi-age den. As always, with more scouts, the need for adult volunteers grows. Even though the Scouts BSA program doesn't launch until 2019, interested adults can get training right now. Each troop or den, male or female, still must have 2 adult leaders over the age of 21 at all meetings and activities. One common sense rule being added is that every female den or troop must have at least one of their leaders be female and over the age of 21. So, a program name is changing and Scouting is becoming more inclusive, but the more than 100-year-old mission is still the same: to prepare every young person to become a strong, brave, loyal, kind, and responsible citizen. For more information or to register, visit.
And there you go. Hope you enjoyed that video. Now, one thing that was mentioned in there is there will be 2 separate troops in our area. There will be a boy troop for 262 as well as our Scouts BSA troop. At this point, we are planning to be doing a number of different activities together with the boys, but we'll also be having our own individual separate meetings that will be just focusing on the girls in the Scouts BSA troop. Now, before you join any program, it's important to understand the philosophies and the core values behind the program you're wanting your child to be a part of, be they your son or your daughter. So I want to take a moment, just put up on the screen actually some of the key values that you're going to find in the scouting program. So we have the Scout Oath, the Scout Law, the Scout Motto, and the Scout Slogan. These are the core tenets of Scouting. So if you need to, feel free to pause the video and take a look at those and see if you're excited about what your daughter will be getting involved in. And also, our troop does focus on outdoor activities, and I'm a huge proponent of clean outdoor use and leave no trace philosophy. So we do subscribe to the Scouts outdoor code, as well as teaching the leave no trace principles from the Leave No Trace Institute out of Boulder. So let's go ahead now and take a look at the actual rank advancement itself in Scouting. In Scouting, you may have heard of the Eagle rank. Eagle is the highest rank in Scouting and actually is earned by less than 5% of all kids that start Scouts. This is an internationally recognized achievement for teenagers that truly highlights a commitment to a program, strong leadership development in that particular kiddo, as well as awesome skills and some pretty cool stories they can probably tell from along the way. So let's take a look at the different ranks. The early Scout ranks are Scout, Tenderfoot, Second Class, and First Class. Typically, these are achieved in usually the first 18 months a person is in Scouts. I would encourage you to really work with your daughter to make sure that this can be achieved in the first 12 months. The first 12 months is critically important because that's going to really encourage your daughter to get involved in all aspects of Scouting, have a lot of fun, and learn a lot of new skills. Now, the cool thing about Scouts BSA programming is entirely self-paced. We will definitely have guides during our meetings, but if your child wants to take their own sweet time about something, they're welcome to do that. Also, if they want to dive right in, they're encouraged to do so as well. These early Scout ranks are all about your daughter learning about Scouts and learning how to be a leader in training. The Star and Life Scout are our middle level ranks for Scouts. This is where we transition from more of a prescribed curriculum into the actual learning about leadership. Star Scouts, they learn to lead others through a 4-month leadership position. Life Scouts continue that through a 6-month leadership position. Both of these require merit badges to be earned. We'll talk about those in just a moment. Star Scout has 6, Life has 5. The important thing to note on scheduling purposes, you do have to be a first class scout for at least 4 months before applying to become a Star Scout and at least 6 months before becoming a Life Scout. One important distinction for anyone who's gone through another type of scouting program such as Girl Scouts is all of these ranks are based on individual achievement and have nothing to do with age or time in a position. So it's all about what your child is going to achieve and do in Scouts. And then finally, we come to the last rank, the rank of Eagle Scout. This will require your daughter to be in a specific leadership position for at least 6 months as a Life Scout, earn an additional 10 merit badges, work with leading others, and to also complete the Eagle Service Project. Eagle projects are an incredibly cool way for your daughter to demonstrate leadership skills, help their community or local nonprofit organization, and I can't wait to see some of the things that we come up with in our troop. As I mentioned, over this last summer, the Troop 262, we did have 3 Eagles complete, which is fantastic, and we had a really wide range of projects. One of our scouts, Oscar, put together a food drive for the Longmont Humane Society and raised more than $3,000 and 800 pounds of food for them. We had another scout, Brandon, who was able to work with our sponsor organization, Ren United Methodist Church, to actually help them remove about 75 feet of old broken down fencing in their parking lot, replace that with brand new, including digging holes for cement. That was a lot of fun, very dirty. And then also, I will say my son Will was able to complete his Eagle this summer as well. And his project was to build and install 5 little libraries in communities in Firestone and Frederick. You may have seen one of those blue and yellow boxes from the Rotary Club. Chances are Will built one of those with his Eagle project. One of the cores of the rank program is the merit badge. Now, merit badges are a really cool way to explore anything you want. When you join scouting, you'll often hear about the required merit badges. You can see them on their screen. Things like camping, citizenship in the nation, we've got cooking, first aid, hiking, kind of what you think of when you think of scouts. But you do have to earn 13 of those required merit badges. But here's the neat thing about scouting. Those are all of the merit badges in scouting. There's over 130 of them. They range from everywhere from aviation to space exploration to reptile study, zoology. We've got photography, pet care, personal management, exploration, programming, animation. Really anything your daughter wants to learn, she can learn through one of these merit badge programs. And we'll talk more about those in person, but they're a fantastic way to develop skills, explore new opportunities, and maybe even find something they're passionate about, want to pursue in high school and beyond. So what does a day in the troop look like? Well, we're going to be having weekly meetings throughout the year. During the school year, we do follow the St. Vrain School calendar, so if there's a day off, we'll be taking that day off. Our meetings are typically 60 to 90 minutes and contain a lot of individual and group instruction. And yes, there will be games, there will be skits, there will be songs, and fun, goofy stuff. In a typical month, we'll have our regular troop meetings. We'll try to do 1 to 2 night camping trips at least every other month, and then looking at special events or service projects, work with our adult volunteers who help run the troop, and then we'll also have troop leadership planning. And here's one of the cool parts about the Scouts BSA program. In Cub Scouts, the adults plan and the adults lead. In Scouts BSA, your daughter will be leading and your daughter will be planning. Sometimes the plans are great, sometimes they need a little help along the way, but it's all about the youth leading their troop, not the adults. And then finally, what's the first year in Scouts look like? Hopefully it's going to be a great year of adventure and fun experiences for your daughter to advance from Scout to first class with those meetings, merit badge camps and colleges to go through merit badge opportunities, and ideally a lot of campouts, projects, special events, and a lot of fun, including things like summer camp, Klondike, which is summer camp in the snow, and things like Courts of Honor, and ultimately learning how to grow from a learner in the troop to being a leader. And now let's take a look at another Scout video. This is about an adult leader who came into Scouting after the Scouts BSA program got started.
I got involved in Scouting in 2009 because my husband had been a Scout as a kid. And he was super impacted by his time in the Order of the Arrow, and we had been donating to Scouting, and we got to go to camp for the day, and I got to do everything. I got to canoe, I got to climb, and I was hooked. It was like, this is great, let's get involved. And really quickly I began to see the impact that Scouting had on kids, the same way I've heard my husband talk about it for our entire married life. I first got started in Scouting in a co-adventuring crew. So young men and their younger sisters, and with all of the outdoor activities that were happening, these young women were rocking it, just like their brothers. And they began to ask the question, why can't we too be in the Order of the Arrow? Why can't we Eagle? I'm really lucky to be a volunteer in the Cascade Pacific Council because our council has fully embraced family scouting. We are looking very proactively at how we can launch Scouts BSA and get as many young women involved as soon as we possibly can. And I get the chance to help make that happen. It's something I've been talking about to so many leaders in the council for almost 10 years now. And so we are really thinking of ourselves as trailblazers. We're leading the way. We're figuring out what are the questions that have to be answered so that when February 1st gets here, we hit the ground running. We've got 53 units already ready to rock and roll on February 1st, and my job is to help make sure they're supported. And I will tell you that here in our council, there's been so much enthusiasm, really a lot of excitement for the opportunities that girls are going to get, interest in being involved, and that's exciting because we get the best of both worlds. And I think as people begin to think about how that's going to work, and they realize that it's not girls at the expense of boys or vice versa, but rather an opportunity to give all of our youth the chance to be leaders, that's how we're going to bring everybody together, and we're going to continue to grow Scouting for the next 100 years. It's a really exciting time to be involved in the Boy Scouts. I'm Kayleen Deathridge. Scout me in.
So what are our next steps? In order for us to get our troop started, we do need to have 5 completed applications from the kiddos who would like to join. The good news is, as of our meeting on Sunday, we do have enough kids, which is fantastic. There is an initial registration fee, which is actually $30 due to being prorated for February. And if your daughter would like to receive the Scouting magazine, it's an additional $1 a month for that. We are absolutely looking for parent volunteers to help us out. One of the traditional things you'll see in Cub Scouts is parents tend to be very involved and they tend to disappear when Boy Scouts starts. Well, I'm hoping that when we establish the culture of our new troop, that we are really focusing on parent involvement and support, not parent doing things, but parent support to help folks out. And as part of that, I'm going to ask that we really look at where you can use your gifts, your talents to plug into this new troop and help support all of the young ladies that will be involved. One thing that is not optional for anyone whose daughter will be involved in this troop is going to be to take youth protection training. So what is youth protection training? It is something that the Scouts takes very seriously, looking at the physical, emotional protection, well-being of your child. Long story short is you're looking at something called 2D leadership, which requires that a child is never alone with an adult that is not their parent. There's always at least two adults present, as well as a lot of additional training. The Scouts did just release a new training about 3 or 4 months ago that is a significant step up from where they were previously. Now, as I mentioned, I've been a teacher for many years and I've gone through a lot of this type of training, and I have to say the Scouts have done a great job with very specific, very realistic training that I think is fantastic. So why do we want to make sure every adult in our troop takes that training? Number of reasons. One is to make sure we protect all the daughters, all the kiddos in our troop, but also this helps our troop be more flexible. When we go to an event, we must have at least 2 YPT trained adults along. When we only have 1 or 2 people in the troop, it's very difficult to get activities going. But if we have more adults, that gives us more flexibility and opportunities. We will be working with Troop 262 and actually sharing their committee of volunteers this first year. We will be learning the positions such as the committee chairperson. We'll be looking at the secretary, webmaster, all those different positions. We're going to be working with Troop 262 to help us get started. It does sound like, based on our initial meeting, that we will be meeting Mondays at 7 p.m. Those unofficial meetings will begin on November 26th at 7 p.m. and we'll be meeting over at Wren United Methodist Church. You are welcome to join us and check things out. I say unofficial because we can't technically start until February 1st. However, I want us to get together, start having a lot of fun, start learning some of those basic Scout skills, so when we hit February 1st, we can hit the ground running, get everyone started, and maybe even earn that first rank. We also have a couple merit badges lined up already, including horsemanship. We have some summer camp opportunities we'll be talking about next week as well. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this presentation and your daughter is as excited as I am to get started on her amazing adventure in Scouts. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. You can find a contact form at firestonescouts.com. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to see you guys on the trail.